So today I spent most of the day, not most of the day, but a big piece of the day, working on a way to track, a better way to track where I'm at or what each of my clients requires. So because I have a recurring monthly subscription model, my clients pay a flat fee, and then I just handle everything for them, basically. So I need to be really on top of when their taxes need to be filed, when their sales tax needs to be filed, what slips need to be prepared, just all of the things that goes into the accounting piece for a small business. And in the beginning, it was super easy for me because it was just all in my brain. But now I'm getting to a point, I've gotten well past a point where it all lives in my brain. So I need a way to reliably know when those dates and those deadlines are happening. So I have been looking for a long time for a workflow app, but I really struggled to find something because I don't think I had a really clear idea of what I wanted it to do. And I kind of hoped it would do like everything and just manage my business for me. But that didn't really work. So I have instead decided to go low tech, fairly low tech. I'm using Excel. Yeah, I should have just used Excel from the beginning, but I thought, oh, well, there's definitely a better way to do this. Like, I'm going to be able to find this app and it's going to make life so much easier. Well, no. But Excel allows me to just simply and cleanly track who needs what and when. So what I did is I have my client's company name. So I made a little chart, I guess. And so I have columns with the company and the province that they're in, because I'm registered in multiple provinces, the name of the contact, their email address, the year-end date if it's a corporation, or if it's a sole proprietor, I have sole prop in there so I know. How often their GST needs to be filed, so quarterly, annually, monthly, and then what documents or returns I actually need to file for them. So personal tax return, corporate tax return, the slips that they need for their company, whether it's a T4 because they're employed or a T5 because they're not, whether I'm doing payroll for them. And payroll actually got a little bit more complicated because I had many different kinds. It's not like either I do personal taxes for a client or I don't. Payroll was, I have two different systems of doing payroll, and I have clients who do their own payroll. So I needed a way to track, was I doing payroll? Was I not doing payroll? Did they have payroll at all? Because all of those things matter. So I have little letter indicators, like if I'm doing manual payroll, because I have a manual payroll system with a spreadsheet that I set up. If I have manual payroll, then I have a little M in there. If I have a client doing manual payroll, then it's CM. So I just built myself a little legend, and I put it in the comment in the top, the title of that column, so that it would always be there. So if I come back later or somebody else sees my spreadsheet, do they know what I'm talking about? Then I put bookkeeping, am I doing their bookkeeping or not? And coaching. So a lot of times if I'm not doing bookkeeping for a client, I'm coaching them to do their own bookkeeping. So I want to keep in mind which clients I'm bookkeeping for, which means regularly I'm into their QuickBooks file and I'm going through Receipt Bank. I use Receipt Bank for receipt management, or if I need to be checking in with my bookkeepers. So I put initials. If my company is doing bookkeeping, I put little initials into the bookkeeping column so I know which bookkeeper is doing which client. And then I have a little X for coaching. So I had little X's if I didn't need to mark them so much as just mark them. That didn't make sense. I have little X's if they don't need to be anything but marked down. So that seemingly simple little spreadsheet is great. It allows me to understand what my requirements are and when, so that at any given time I can just go and check and say, okay, at the end of the month, these are the clients that have things due. This is what's due. Here's the work that needs to happen, and I can create a little plan. The issue that I had run into at the end of all of this was, how do I track at what point I'm at? So say I have a corporate tax return to do, how do I track, like, has it been done? Has it not been done? Or if we're talking about like an HST return or something like that. Because these deadlines are sometimes really long, like you have 6 months to file after the end of your fiscal year end, your corporate year end. So I could do a corporate tax return very quickly after the year end, and then 4 or 5 months down the line, I'll be looking at my spreadsheet and be like, oh man, this year end is due in like a month. And then I have to go back and search through my files and see, like, did I actually do it, and just double check, because maybe I don't remember. Or even if I do remember, I don't necessarily trust my memory because there's a lot going on. So anyways, that is one piece of this that I haven't quite figured out, is how do I know if I've done it? Because it would be easy to just say, oh, well, I'm going to check it off and it's done. But how do you then have to go back and uncheck it after the year end or after the deadline passes? Because you don't want to leave that checked for next year. You might get there and think, did I do this already? I've checked it off. So then the system gets a little messy and starts to break down. So still some things to work out. But that's my general client deadline tracking system, which I'm pretty happy with. It's very clean, it's very easy to read, and it works, which is kind of the best thing, because some of the apps that I was trying to use just, I don't know if it was just like there was an issue between the keyboard and the chair or what, but like I could not figure it out. If you have any suggestions for me about how to track whether it's been done or not in a given period of time and then not done for the next time, like a recurring task that you could check on and off, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here at this point. But if you have a suggestion for me, I'd love to hear it. And I'd also love to hear what your favorite way of tracking your own workflow is. Do you have an app for it? Do you use Excel? Is it pen and paper? What are you doing? I'd love to know. That's all for today. That's all I have, because I'm just spitballing at this point. So I'll see you tomorrow.